Hello, and thank you for joining me today for Real Estate, Religion, and You. My name is Dr. Sylvia Black, licensed real estate broker with affordable homes and apartments. And I'm licensed to preach and ordained as a minister. And I'm also a licensed real estate broker with affordable homes and apartments. I believe I said that already. And I want to thank you for joining me today for Real Estate, Religion, and You, which airs every Wednesday right here on Time Warner Public Access TV Channel 20, Wednesdays 6:30 to 7 p.m., and Saturdays from 12:30 to 1 in the afternoon. You can also hit me up on YouTube. My YouTube channel is sblack3001, where these videos will be posted. You can also hit me up on Black Preaching Network, where my religious videos will be posted. You can also hit me up on Facebook at Dr. Sylvia Black or highwaytoheavenchurch.net. And you can email me if you'd like to get... Okay. And I want to thank you for joining me today. Today I'd like to talk to you on a continued basis of my book, Blood-Sucking Banks. And this is about how to avoid overdraft fees, or how to get those overdraft fees back that you've been charged by these blood-sucking banks. And this book is available on lulu.com, amazon.com, createspace.com, at a bookstore near you. If you would like to get a copy of this book downloaded to you on your tablet, via email, on your computer, on your iPhone, or any other device, you can email me at sblack3001. And I'll be happy to download it for you directly. Okay, I've eliminated the middleman. And I want to thank you for joining me today for Real Estate, Religion, and You. Now today, I'd like to talk to you on a continued basis of the book. And the subject that I'd like to talk to you about is, how can you avoid paying bank fees? How can you avoid paying bank fees? In this book, again, Blood-Sucking Banks by Dr. Sylvia Black, available on amazon.com, lulu.com. And if you get a copy of this book, Blood-Sucking Banks, will also throw in identity theft. Also, we'll throw that in for you also. Thank you for joining me again today for Real Estate, Religion, and You. All right. Thank you. Okay. Now, how to avoid paying bank fees? Sometimes you can get some of these fees waived just by calling the customer service department, as I mentioned to you last week. Okay. And the service department, as long as it's within the guidelines. There are certain circumstances when fees can be waived outside of the guidelines, and there are certain situations where they cannot be waived. You can also change the amount of your ATM withdrawal per withdrawal by calling the customer service representative, up to $1,000 per withdrawal. So a lot of times you think that the maximum that you can ever get is like $300. No, you can change that to up to $1,000. So if every time you go to an ATM machine you're being charged a fee to withdraw your money, or to find out how much money you got, you can actually boost that up to $1,000, so you can go in there and you can get all the money out instead of going there and piecemealing it. And then you'll be charged one fee. So that's one way you can avoid paying some of the fees. Okay, by changing this amount, this will help prevent you from paying the enormous amount of ATM withdrawal fees that these blood-sucking banks charge. Especially if you use a non-ATM bank, because you're going to be charged a fee by the bank that you have an account with. And you're also going to be charged an ATM fee by the bank that you do not have an account with. Okay? So that's something to think about. Okay? They call it being out of footprint. Okay? You can take a lump sum of money out and you can just use the cash, play with the cash instead of milk piecing the debit card. Now, if you think you have an overdraft protection, you should make sure that you're not still paying overdraft fees. You can opt out of overdraft protection, but in some cases you still will pay fees for transactions that are processed at the bank's discretion. Without your knowledge, and even if you have opted out, which we all know is not legal, at the bank's discretion, your debit card transactions and checks can still be paid even if you don't have enough money in the bank to cover it. The customer service department is not allowed to discuss or disclose this amount to the customers, or even to let you know that you have this. And the bank that I work for, they called it Smart Pay. Okay, the customer service department is not, okay, ready. And now there are several ways that you can avoid paying bank fees. okay, by having what we call non-bank or non-traditional items. Now, when you open up an account, more than likely, most of us use our debit card for most of our transactions. I would say 90% of our transactions. I don't believe very few people write checks anymore these days. There are some people who still write checks, but a lot of people don't write checks. Most people have merchant accounts where they can accept debit or credit card transaction purchases. And there's a little device which I can't remember what it's called, but it can be purchased in one of the large retail stores, and it can be attached to your iPhone, and you as an individual can now accept debit card and credit card transactions, okay, for items that are purchased through you. Okay? Now, one way to avoid, okay, as I said, most people use their debit card for transactions. There's certain accounts that you can open up that do not allow you any check writing fees. Okay, you do not get checks with certain accounts that you open, and this particular account that you can open up. Some banks have it, some banks don't, but you do get a debit card with it. So you make all your purchases with your debit card. If you have to make a purchase with a check, you go into the bank and you get into the branch and you get a certified check, or what they call a bank check. And this bank check then is made, and the money is taken out of the account, and then you can make it payable to who you want to make it payable to, and now you can pay that particular bill without the worry of it bouncing, because it's not supposed to bounce. Now, there are some cases, even with this particular account, that you may write, or you may pay a transaction with your debit card and there's not enough money in there. Well, what happens? The transaction will not go through. Will you still be charged an overdraft fee? That's up in the air. That's a question that I don't have the answer to. Okay? But there are several non-bank and non-traditional ways in which you and I both can never ever have to worry about paying another overdraft fee in your life. Okay? Never have to worry about if there's not enough money in the account, the bill just will not get paid. Okay? And that's the bottom line of that. That will force you to manage your account. That will force you to keep a good lookout on your account so that you can help to avoid paying some of these bank fees. Okay, you don't want to pay these bank fees unnecessarily. You have to be on your account like a dog on a bone, I call it. You have to be on it. You have to be monitoring your account. Okay, you have to visit the website. Your iPhone has access to the internet, so you can actually sign up, go to that particular website, whoever holds your card, put your password in and whatnot, and get into that account and log out. Okay, I talk about some of the safety issues in my book, Identity Theft. Okay, and this book talks about how to protect yourself from someone stealing your identity. Okay, now one way that you can avoid ever paying another overdraft fee in your life is to get a Green Dot card. I have one, and you can get one too. Green Dot card has a checking account and routing number associated with it. So you can actually have your direct deposit, your check directly deposited to a Green Dot card. If you don't have enough money on that card, your bill will not get paid. But guess what? You won't get charged an overdraft fee either. Green Dot is a prepaid debit card personalized to meet your needs. Green Dot is a personalized prepaid Visa or debit MasterCard that you can use anywhere debit card, MasterCard, or Visa cards are accepted worldwide. There's no line of credit associated with this card. It's a prepaid debit card, okay? And a personalized card that can be used at ATMs. You still will get charged a fee for using the ATMs though. Okay, and these cards, some of them are reloadable. And they're accepted anywhere debit card, MasterCard, Visa cards are accepted. So you can do online purchases as well as in-purchase, what do they call it, point of sale purchases. You can go directly to the store and swipe that card in that machine and purchase something. Or you can do your purchases online, okay? Okay, there's usually a monthly maintenance fee of maybe about $5 or $6. But if you have direct deposit, that fee is usually waived. Okay, the minimum initial deposit is $10. And you can reload at major retailers, and the money is immediately posted to the card and made available to you. Cash withdrawals are at over 24,000 MoneyPass ATMs are free. Non-MoneyPass ATMs or bank teller withdrawals are $250, and non-MoneyPass ATM or bank teller inquiries are $50. This is just to name a few of the benefits that you get associated with the Green Dot card. Where can you purchase a Green Dot card? You can go to Rite Aid and get one. Walmart Money Card. Okay, this is the cards purchased in the store. The minimum load amount is $20 with a purchase fee of $1.88. Monthly service fee is $3. Okay, no fee for reloading using direct deposit or payroll government benefits. No reload fee using Walmart check cashing. No fee for cash withdrawals or balance inquiries at over 24,000 MoneyPass ATMs. Okay. There are a lot of non-bank prepaid debit cards that are available to consumers like you and me, and they are springing up all over. These are just to name a few. You work hard for your money. $39 is a lot of money to pay for one overdraft fee. Okay, and for some people, it's over a half a day's pay. You mean to tell me you're going to just give your money to these blood-sucking banks? Okay, no. You want to complain to these banks about about taking your overdraft fees? You got a beef with the bank? You can get resolved. Don't sit there steaming and complaining. One place you can complain to is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, the federal government's new financial watchdog. It's not always your fault when you're charged an overdraft fee. Okay, especially that scenario that I told you last week about the individual you make 4 deposits. You have direct deposit of your check coming in on Friday, and you write 3 checks to pay your bills, your rent, your phone bill, and your utility bill. And all 3 of those checks bounce, and you get charged a $40 fee for each one of them. And then your payroll check deposits, and then what happens? Those $120 comes out of that. But your checks have already bounced now, so now this particular bank where you have your account at, those checks are going to bounce, and you're going to get paid. You're going to get charged an overdraft fee from them, and then the retailer to whom you've written your check to may also charge you an overdraft fee. So you get hit double. You'll probably have to pay $240. I'm rounding it off. $240 estimate for overdraft fees once your check hits the bank. So let's say these 3 creditors deposit that account, those checks again, and now there's enough money to cover 2 of them, but one of them is going to bounce because you're paying $240 in overdraft fees. Is that fair? No, it's not. Can you complain about it? Yes, you can. Okay, one place to do it is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Like I said, it's not always your fault, but you can't keep quiet about these overdraft fees because many of them are unfair. If you get no results by calling the customer service department, then you go to the branch and complain to the branch manager, or ask to speak directly to the president, or go to the headquarters. Write them a letter, have a paper trail, so that when you take them to court, you'll know exactly what efforts that you have exhausted. Okay, and I'm talking about my book, Blood-Sucking Bank, available on Amazon.com. Okay? Or you can ask to speak to the agent for service or process. Okay, it's called the agent for service or process. Okay, that is registered with your state government and is your bank's representative, who is assigned to accept paperwork regarding all legal matters on behalf of the bank. Isn't that nice to know? If you take the bank to court, it would cost them more to pay for lawyers than it would be to refund your money. So why not try to rack up a few extra bucks for punitive damages or hardship? After all, if they hadn't assessed those overdraft fees in the first place, your account wouldn't be messed up, and all the other bills would have gotten paid as well. And that's what I talked to you about, punitive damage or hardship. Now, what you do is you go to small claims court, okay? And there's some papers on the wall. You take a couple of those papers and you fill them out. I think the maximum that you can sue for is $10,000. You make sure that you have your bank statement, and you can either attach it to it or take it with you when you go to court. I don't know if I'd want to attach my bank statement with it because it has my personal information on it. Although you can cut the personal information off with just your name on it and then attach it to the bank statement. Or you can just bring it with you. Okay? Because when you file these papers in small claims court, you're going to actually be sending a copy of it to the bank. Or I should say to the blood-sucking bank. Okay? So they're going to get a copy of your bank statement. That's why I say you can file it with the papers that you file in small claims court. I think the maximum is $10,000. So let's say they took out $3,900 over the last year or so that you've had an account with them. Rack it up. Add another $60, $100, and you got a total of 10 grand. Okay, hardship. You know, my stress level is low. You know, you may be an elderly person. You know what I mean? You get a fixed income. You get one check a month. And I know that's got to be hard. You know what I mean? One check, no other money coming in at all. Or you may have other money coming in, but it's not dependable. You know, you get a check from welfare, you get your Social Security check, and there's 5 of y'all living in the house. You know, and you got your money in this bank account, and they taking out $39. $39? Is you kidding me? You may have ended up going into the hospital. You may be on medication. Okay, you may be suffering punitive, your head's hurting or whatever. You're not in your right mind. You're under stress. You know, you almost died. You know, any number of things could have happened. That's what you call hardship. That's what you call punitive damages. Okay? Hardship is when my electric bill didn't get paid. I had to double up on it next month. And that wasn't easy for me because now I had to do without this and I had to do without that. I had to choose whether to pay my gas or electric bill. So you paid your gas bill because you know it's hot in here, and your electric bill you didn't pay. Your electric might have got turned off. Your gas might have got shut off or whatever. Your car, like I said, your car may have gotten repossessed. Or they may have threatened to repossess you. Those harassing phone calls are nerve-wracking. That's what we call hardship. Okay, your rent didn't get paid. You got a dispossessed letter in the mail. You had to go to court. You had to miss days at work. Because these bloodsucker banks decided that they wanted to take your hard-earned money and charge you an overdraft fee just because you post low to high. So now you had to go to court, you had to miss day at work, you lost your job, and now you still got to pay your rent. This is hardship. Punitive damages and hardship. All of this, baby, all of this. Okay, you ever heard the saying, I've fallen, I can't get up? Okay? Yeah, but you're going to get up, though. You're going to get up. You know? You're going to get up and you're going to go to the bank and you're going to file small claims court against them. Now, you can go to call a class action suit, and I would still make the complaint to this government agency that I mentioned to you in this book. You know what I mean? There's several government agencies that you can complain to. There's the FDIC. The FDIC is who these commercial banks are insured by. Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. Okay, they insure your money, I believe, up to $250,000 now. It used to be $100,000, now it's $250,000. Okay, so you put your money in the bank and it's insured. If the bank goes under, you still get, I guess, all of your money back. That's the purpose of being insured. Don't know quite how it works yet, though. I haven't actually accumulated $250,000 yet, but I'm getting there. I got another $250,000 to go. Okay, no, $249,000. Okay. Okay, and so, so this is what you do. You go to small claims court. You take the paperwork. Now remember, the clerks behind the desk are not allowed to give out legal advice. So if you're not sure how to fill it out, take it home and look it over. Take it back. There is a fee that's required. Now don't forget, you are going to have to pay that fee. But more than likely, the bank is going to settle out of court. Okay? Now if you want to continue to take them to court and whatnot and compel them to come to court, do so. Because you're gonna demand those punitive damages. They're gonna send you a letter. They're gonna say, they might even send you a check that says, by signing this check, you agree to dismiss all charges against this blood-sucking bank. Okay? And it might be a check for your $3,500 or your $3,900. That's not what I want. I want $10,000. Okay? And I'm suing you for 10 grand. Okay? So you sent me a check, you sent me a letter. Yes, we're willing to settle this matter. Please give us a call so we can contact. We've been trying to contact you, but we haven't been able to. Please contact us at your earliest convenience. Okay? Hey. Told you was going to get up. So now you contact him and you say, listen, this, that, and the other, whatever the case is, you got put out. You had to go to court, okay, because you wasn't able to pay your rent. Because I didn't have enough money in my account when you took out those fees for overdraft. When I deposited my check for $1,000 in the bank, and I wrote a check for my rent, my utility bill, and my car note, and my phone bill, and none of them only 3 of them got paid, and then I had to pay overdraft fees for every one of those checks that bounced out of my check, so I was short. So one of the bills didn't get paid. I had to double up on it, and oh yeah, don't forget now, there's interest. Whatever interest that let's say that the car company they charged you an additional late fee, right? Or they charged you additional interest because you were late with your bill. Yes, they'll work out an arrangement with you, but now you have to pay their late fee. You have to pay, and landlords will charge you a late fee too. You know, they say, I got to pay a late fee. So don't forget, we're going to add up all of the overdraft fees that they're charged, and that's going to be written right on your bank statement because they don't go away. Okay? And then any bill that was affected by the overdrafts that you were assessed, including payroll. Okay? Let's say your payroll, you deposited, you had enough money to cover those bills when you deposited your check, but they didn't clear. So not only do I want my money back, but now I want that late fee that my landlord charged me, or those late fees that they charge me. Okay? In addition to that, the landlord went up on the rent, or you may have even been facing foreclosure. You may have faced foreclosure, and you know there's interest on that. Everything you're going to pay interest on. You're not going to get away without paying any interest. Okay? And I'm talking about my book, Blood-Sucking Bank, available on Amazon.com, Lulu.com. Okay? And I'm available for public engagements if you'd like me to come and speak. Like I said, I'm a licensed real estate broker with affordable homes and apartments. Okay, so, and I'm licensed to preach and ordained as a minister. So real estate is mostly my thing, but I like dealing in money. That's why I like talking about blood-sucking banks. Okay, and if you want the details and the exact names of the banks that are actually merging and these banks that have undergone $1 million class action settlement suits, okay, you can find it right here in my book, Blood-Sucking Banks, available on Amazon.com, Lulu.com. And if you get a copy of that, I'll throw in identity theft. And this talks to you about how to keep your identity from being stolen, which I'll touch upon that also. Okay? Now, if you go to small claims court and you sue them for all of the overdraft charges and the cost you paid, don't forget about the cost that you got to pay to file that small claims court. You're going to add that in there too. Okay? The cost for the copies that you had to make, your transportation to and from the court. Okay, even if it was in gas, how much did you put in the gas? How much gas did you put in the car? How much did you have to spend taking the bus? Whatever it was, add it all up. Okay. Now there's another. If you want to file a class action suit and be a part of a number of other people who are filing, you can go to the National Urban League. Now I don't know if you can. I would recommend going to the National Urban League. Because if you look like me, go to the National Urban League. Okay, they have had experience in class action suits. Okay, and they're a lawyer, they're a legal firm. You know what I mean? And they have a branch out right out here in Buffalo. They're headquartered in New York. I used to work for them. Okay, now a contract of adhesion drafts the terms of having amount with the bank. And you must accept these terms and conditions by signing the disclosure that they give you in order to open up an account with the bank, usually found in the disclosures that are written in the smaller letters, okay, and over several pages that you don't have time to read, okay? Have you ever asked the banker to explain what's in these disclosures, what they mean? If not, you better, okay? In terms of the contract, okay, wait a minute, if the terms of the contract are ambiguous or unfair, that means unclear or unfair, the law will rule in your favor. Okay, that's another way. If you might even end up taking this to Supreme Court, maybe. You can say, hey, wait a minute. I sat there and I opened up an account. They didn't tell me all of this. They didn't tell me I was going to get charged $39. You told me this was overdraft protection. You told me that this was going to protect me. Okay, this was something that was going to benefit me as a customer. You didn't tell me that when I deposit my money in the bank that my checks weren't going to get paid and I was going to get charged an overdraft fees, and that you was going to manipulate my transactions so that you could get paid, and I go and you know, I want my money back. I want you know, what does it say, the terms of, because first of all, when I read that piece of paper that you gave me, that was unclear. I couldn't understand nothing that was saying, and I asked your representative, and what was his name again? You did ask that person's name, right? Or you looked at the desk and you saw their nameplate there, or they gave you a business card. Can I have your business card, please? Oh yes, this person right here on this business card told me blah 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 blah. Okay, that will also rule in your favor. Okay, if the contract of your opening up the account was ambiguous or unfair, the law will rule in your favor. In favor of the customer. The contract is unfair because the overdraft fees that you pay for were forced upon you. Overdraft is supposed to be a courtesy, an option. But if you know nothing about opting in or opting out, how are you going to know if you have this protection that the bank offers or not? Okay, there's also a code of ethics that the bank has to adhere to. And there are several regulations that are written for the bank to adhere to. Oh, honey, this is juicy. This is too much to go into in 29 minutes, baby. That's why you got to get a copy of the book. Blood-sucking banks, baby. Blood-sucking banks. Available on Amazon.com, Lulu.com, CreateSpace.com. Email me at sblack3001@gmail.com if you want me to download a copy of it right to your device. Okay, there's a code of ethics that the bank has to adhere to, and there are several regulations that are written for the bank to adhere to. If you can prove to the judge that your bank has not been adhering to Regulation CC or Regulation D as in David, or whatever regulation you are complaining about, then you can win in court. Only your overdraft fees, but some pocket change like $10,000. I know I could use 10 grand right about now. Now give it a try. You know how to file a small claims court case, don't you? You don't need a lawyer to file a small claims court. You don't have to pay a lawyer. You don't even need to go to legal aid. Just go down to the courthouse yourself. Don't be afraid. Do it. Just think about it. Look up in the sky and say, $10,000. Yeah. Okay? Because more than likely they'll settle out of court and you won't even have to go before the judge. Okay. Oh, this is juicy, honey. Let me tell you. You can get all of your overdraft fees refunded to you, going back to the date that you first opened up your account way back in West Bubbleneck somewhere, back in 1910. Okay? Or whenever they started the banks or whatever. Okay? Whatever date you opened up the account with this blood-sucking bank before they took over by another bank. And you can do this with every bank that you have an account with. Start calling. Start writing. You can go through all of your bank statements. This is heavy. This is something. Let me tell you, honey, there are people who do it. And like I said, court fees are expensive. Are they going to go to court and whatnot over a little measly? Yeah, a class action suit for a couple of $1 million. Yeah, they're going to have to go to court for that. But little old you or little old me, do they think it's even necessary to go to court? They may not have to, but if they don't show up in court and you do, and you don't agree to waive the court fees or you don't agree to settle out of court, then they will owe you that 10 grand by default. Woo! I should have been a lawyer, honey. I have taken people to court and sued them, and I've never lost a case. But I've sued them on my behalf. I can't sue for nobody else because I'm not licensed to practice law. But I have sued people for doing wrong to me in the past, and I've never lost a case, honey. Never. And I did it on my own, and I can explain exactly how I did it to you if you contact me. Blood-sucking banks, y'all. Available on Lulu.com. Holla at a sister. I'll see you next week, honey. Woo! I will see you next week. Holla at a sister. Visit me on YouTube. My channel is sblack3001, or my email. You can respond through the YouTube also, or Amazon.com.